What is going on, guys? It is Wednesday and it is paintball question time. What hopper should you get for your mini GS? Why do some paintball guns come with hose and some don't? And what's the difference between a one-piece and a two-piece barrel? Trey Henry asked, what hopper under $100 should I get with my mini GS? First, you need to think that the point of the mini GS is to shoot fast. So we need a hopper that's gonna feed fast or fast enough for the mini GS. So ideally, we probably have something that's gonna feed 20-ish. So there's, let's say 4 hoppers that are gonna feed fast enough. They, in price order, Valken VMAX Plus, Empire Halo 2, Empire Prophecy Z2, and the Die Rotor LTR. All of those are pretty much gonna feed fast enough for all your needs with the mini GS. And the prices are gonna vary a little bit, but not so much. So the VMAX is gonna be the cheapest. I think they're like 60 bucks. Halo 2, 74, and then both the Die Rotor LTR and the Prophecy Z2 are $100. So while there's a price difference there, and kind of a lot, I guess, I mean almost twice as much like the VMAX compared to the LTR, I feel like there's definitely a performance difference. If you just want the cheapest electric hopper that's gonna feed fast enough, VMAX Plus. If you want maybe best value, Halo 2. If you want the best hopper for under $100, I'm going with the Z2. I like the Z2. It's light, it's small, feed fast, battery life's good, doesn't jam. It's probably not gonna be as durable as the rotor, but I just had so many problems with rotors jamming. And I had a Z2 for like 2 years and loved it. So I think 2 good options, Empire Halo 2 and Empire Prophecy Z2. But for me, I'm spending the extra 25 bucks and getting a Z2. So just buy a Z2. Cody Price wants to know, why do some paintball guns use macroline or stainless steel tube or hose, and some don't have hose? Design really. I think it just is aesthetically pleasing to see a gun without hose. It's kind of a little easier to maneuver when you're playing without hose, but most of them are gonna come with hose because it's cheaper. It's just a lot easier to manufacture paintball guns with hose on it, really. Most of these guns that have no hose have to machine air passageways through the frame, and it just costs a lot. It's a little more complicated, and R&D and development and research and designing is a little bit harder with the hoseless guns, so it just costs more to make. So there's some less expensive guns like say a Tippmann Kronos or Griffin that don't have hose, but most of the time it's relegated or made for the higher end stuff. So it's just simpler and kind of looks better, sorta. I like playing with guns that don't have hose. I think that in my hands it just kind of feels smoother and just better, but fixing them can be a lot harder. So say we have a Die M2, right? And it leaks from somewhere in the trigger frame. It's kind of hard sometimes to pinpoint where those leaks come from because it has to have the frame mounted to the body. So if the gun's leaking, somewhere in there where it meets the body and frame, it's kind of just hard to find that leak. Because you're like, yep, it's leaking somewhere in there, but you can't take the frame off to find where it leaks. So it's a little bit harder and trickier sometimes to troubleshoot guns that don't have hose. But overall, I still like it. It's just cheaper, really. I mean, that's the reason the guns have hose and don't. It's cheaper to make them with hose. Will Clarcx wants to know, what's the difference between a one-piece barrel and a two-piece barrel? The main difference between two-piece and one-piece barrels is really one's one-piece and one's two-piece. The main benefit, at least, from one-piece and two-piece barrels is that a lot of manufacturers make different bore sizes in the backs for the two-piece barrels, when there really aren't that many one-piece barrels that come in different bore sizes. I think that CP Custom Products is really the only company making one-piece barrels that come in different bore sizes. But you really don't need that big, long 14-inch one piece to get the correct velocity at least. You really just need that 8-inch back. So having the extra barrel tips on the two-piece barrels kind of just help quiet the gun down a little bit, make it a little bit easier to aim and point at stuff, and then give you a variety. You can switch up colors or get different barrel lengths and stuff. It's also a little bit cheaper for manufacturers to just make that small back versus complete barrels. So we're probably seeing a little bit of savings when buying just backs versus whole complete barrels. But in my experience, having a good one-piece barrel didn't really shoot that much different comparatively to the two-piece barrels. I really like the Bob Long one-piece barrels. They come on some of the old G6Rs and old Intimidators. I like talking about barrels, kinda. But if you look in the comments, I guarantee there's gonna be a person that says I'm crazy because two-piece barrels all the time are better, or you need specific barrel for a paintball gun to even shoot. But as long as you really stick with good paintballs, paintball guns typically are going to shoot kind of straight. So paintballs are going to be the most important thing, even over X barrel brand. So that's kind of a short answer, but I feel like we can get into the weeds with barrels, but that's kind of the gist of what the difference between 1-piece and 2-piece barrels are. Thanks guys, that's paintball question time. If you want to watch more paintball question times, like always, click that big rectangular box or the circle box and subscribe to see more of these paintball question times, which come out every Wednesday. And always the Paintball Ruin My Life store in the square box.